What's going on, y'all? Another video, another Monday after a heartbreaking loss. I feel like we've done this plenty of times. The Washington Commanders are now 3-9. There is good news, though. And we're going to talk about Treylon Burks and his catch and how this is a guy for the future. John Keim talked about it a little bit. Treylon Burks is a guy for the future, and I want to talk about him in today's video, highlight him in today's video. Also, on the back end of this video, we're going to talk about Dan Quinn's presser today. He just came to the podium. He dropped a few things that we need to talk about, man. So I will get you those updates. Make sure you guys hit the like button on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel if you're new. Trying to reach 3,000 subscribers. I need y'all to click that subscribe button. Make sure you click that like button as well. Let's talk about Treylon Burks first. So, that was one of the greatest catches I've ever seen. Just right off rip, I'll say that. The Treylon Burks catch last night was one of the greatest catches I've ever seen. It was a fantastic acrobatic play. And I really love players that are able to do that, use their athleticism, and really go hard for that ball, because a lot of the players in the league would not even attempt to get that ball. They wouldn't lean back like that and risk an injury, right? But Burks did. So I'm very happy with Treylon Burks right now. We picked him up. He was a former first-round pick with the Tennessee Titans. I'm very happy with what he's done right now. We don't have size in this wide receiver room. Pause, but we don't, you guys know what I mean. We don't have size in this wide receiver room. And he's one of the guys with size. He's strong, he's tall, he's lengthy. He showed his length last night. Again, pause. But this is very, not a good start. But he showed his athleticism last night. I'll say that with that catch. And he showed his ability to go up there and get a football. And it was one of the greatest catches I've ever seen. I think Adam Peters, by this move, has just fleeced the NFL. I'm not saying that he's going to be a future wide receiver 1 or future wide receiver 2. Could be our wide receiver 3 next year. Very possible that he will be our wide receiver 3 next year. Adam Peters picked this guy up when nobody else believed in him. It's kind of like an Emmanuel Forbes situation. The guy needs a refresh. No one believed in him. He needed a refresh. He comes in here and he's balling. I don't want to jinx him, but he is balling right now. First game that he played, he had a few catches. You know, so he's looked good so far, and I'm all open to keeping him for next year. Give him another chance, see what he's got. Again, this is a future wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 4, maybe wide receiver 2 if he can push those limits, if he can get really good. And he's a first-round pick. You don't get picked in the first round for no reason. So, I mean, I'm very excited about Treylon Burks. I'll say that right now, and I think Adam Peters made a move that really helped this franchise out. So I was really asking him to make this move. I wanted him to really make this move whenever we met with Treylon Burks, but wasn't sure if he was going to do that, and he did. You're not paying him anything, dude. Like, why not keep him around? So we'll see him in training camp next year. We'll see him throughout the offseason next year. Hopefully he has a great offseason. Let's get to Dan Quinn's presser. No, that was short, the Treylon Burks stuff, but I think Adam Peters really, really fleeced the NFL there. Anybody else could have a shot at Treylon Burks, and they didn't get him, and we got him, and he's a former first-round pick, and he just made that catch. Odell Beckham tweeted about it, too. So I'm excited about what we have there. Let's get to the first thing that Dan Quinn said. Obviously, the first thing would be a Jaden Daniels update. So Quinn said the key for Jaden Daniels is what he called the functional contact. That is common to the position. Stiff arms will get, stiff arms is basically what, he's dealing, he could be dealing with, and you want to avoid that, right? He said we'll get a feel for that throughout the week. He said Daniels was ripping throws in practice today. Daniels was making a lot of throws in practice today, apparently. But they'll have a better update Wednesday. That's what Dan Quinn always says on a Monday, so they'll have a better update Wednesday. But again, he was ripping throws in practice. To me, as of early, my assessment on Daniels is that he won't play this Sunday. I think that's my early assessment, which I kind of would, as the game was coming closer to us, the Denver game, I started to feel like, okay, we may not get Daniels back for Week 14, and that's probably going to be the case. I don't think Daniels is going to play. So we'll see, though. Ultimately, he was ripping throws in practice today, so maybe he does end up playing. Dan Quinn also gave another update on the Tavita Pritchard situation. So he's obviously going to Stanford after the year, and he was the quarterback for Stanford from 2006 to 2009. He was the coordinator. He was a coordinator for Stanford. He had done everything and anything at Stanford his whole life. And it made sense for him to go to Stanford now and be the head coach. So shout out to him. Hopefully he goes and is successful. But that's not going to help the Commanders. That's a young prospect of a coach that you have, a young guy that you really had some hope in. That he could stay around here and probably eventually be the offensive coordinator one day. But that's not going to happen. And so good luck to him. Now that leaves a question, who's going to fill that role? Last night was the final game for Tavita Pritchard, and somebody asked Dan Quinn who will fill that role. Dan Quinn said David Blau will be elevated the quarterback coach for the rest of the season, taking over for Tavita Pritchard. He said it at Stanford, said his goodbyes after the game last night. So I told y'all whenever I made the video about Tavita Pritchard and him leaving, I told y'all it's going to be David Blau. Everybody from the media told y'all it's going to be David Blau. So nothing should be surprising here. David Blau is going to be the new quarterback's coach. He's going to fill in. And so nobody's going to fill in David Blau's role, though. Nobody's going to take what he used to do, though. So we did hear that. Dan Quinn did say Sam Cosmi played his best game versus Denver. I was not watching the offensive line last night, and I'll have to go back and watch some of the film in this game as always. But Sam Cosmi, the run game was pretty good last night, honestly, for how good this Broncos defense is. The offensive line was very solid tonight. Sam Cosmi apparently had his best game. So came back week 7. His best game comes in week 13, apparently, according to Dan Quinn. Another Jaden Daniels thing here. Jaden Daniels has still not been cleared for contact. Quinn said the Commanders will take that decision all the way to Friday. My guess is Daniels is going to be ruled out Friday. But again, I don't know what's going to work out there. I don't know. So we'll see. Quinn also said there's a possibility that he could keep his play calling duties. I thought that was very interesting. He said next season, he said he hasn't, quote, gone down that road, unquote, yet, but a definite chance. I was very surprised that he said that. When Dan Quinn came in this operation, he said he wants, he doesn't want to be a defensive coordinator. And he's probably just saying this to Ben Standing and to us to keep hope alive and to keep hope alive for him being the defensive coordinator. And also because he doesn't want to rule anything out. You're not going to rule out that you're going to not be the defensive coordinator next year. Because what if you do end up being there? You lied. So he doesn't want to rule that out. So that's my take on that. Ultimately, he could be the defensive coordinator, though. He sounded like he was very open to it. So I think if Raheem Morris gets canned, it's going to be him. You can see Jim Schwartz. You can see a lot of different guys. We'll have those conversations later. So Dan Quinn did talk about a little bit about that, though. Dan Quinn also said there will be no one filling the assistant quarterback coach role during the season, as I talked about. There's no one taking over David Blau's role. But Quinn said the pass game coordinator, Brian Johnson, will help out coaching the quarterbacks, which was also, that was kind of a move that was expected. Brian Johnson, he's a very, he's very smart and he's very respected in this, on this staff and in this building. So, he is obviously going to continue to move up, is Brian Johnson. So not a surprise that Quinn said that. But that's going to do it for me, guys. That is today's video. Just a quick video. Commanders lost to the Broncos by a score of 27-26 yesterday. It was a heartbreak, but ultimately that's what we asked them to do. We asked them to play close games and lose. Now we are 6th position in the draft, and we are all focused on the draft. Man, I can't wait to get this draft content out to y'all, man. It's going to come out soon. This defensive coordinator content out to y'all. That's also going to come out kind of soon. We're nearing the end of the year. 5 games left for the Commanders. Let's finish the year out strong, man. Last year was last night was a heartbreak, but we are 3-9, and ultimately when it's draft night and if you saw the Commanders beat a 9-2 Broncos team and we were 3-8 at the time, you would have been probably pissed because you could have had a lot more positions in the draft. So this loss overall was the best thing for us. We had been asking this team to be competent and to play hard, but ultimately lose, and that's exactly what they did, kind of like the Giants had been. So very good outcome last night, right? So that's going to do it for me. Quick Monday video as always, man. So I'll be back with the content tomorrow. Probably go longer content tomorrow. We're getting back into the things. And obviously it's hard after a loss. I made a lot of content yesterday, so this was just a quick video. So that's going to do it for me. Hail to the Commanders. As always, you guys take care. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy Giants-Patriots tonight. I'm going to say the Giants are going to keep it close. I don't know if they're going to win, but I'm going to say they're going to keep it close. Remember that tonight. So I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.